And we are live. Welcome back to Takes by Fans. We got a great show for you today. As always, we are live every single day at noon Eastern. If you want to watch live, head over to twitch.tv/takesbyfans. If you want to watch but not live, head over to our YouTube channel, Takes by Fans. We post all of our shows and clips of the show there on a daily basis. And if you just want to listen, we are on podcasting apps, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. So however you want to watch or listen, we've got you covered multiple ways. Alrighty, today's a big old Friday, the very last day of the play-in tournament in the NBA. We got the Grizzlies and the Warriors. Winner gets that last seed. There is one more seed. We know the 15 teams in the playoffs. There's one more spot. Whoever wins gets it. So we'll break down that game, do the moneymaker for tonight's action. We'll break down the game from last night. I mean, how could y'all let me take the Pacers plus 3.5? What do you know? What have we ever said anything good about the Pacers like past one game? And I fell for the trap. Y'all let me fall for the trap. They put up 144 points in their first meeting, in their first playing tournament game, and we were like, whoa, maybe they can get it. And then they go back and flounder. So thank y'all for letting me choose Pacers plus 3.5. Wizards blow them out easy. So we'll break down that game. We are going to be doing the we'll be walking through the NBA playoffs because we were a little off the mark a little bit in the play-in tournament. We have the teams right. We just did not have the seeding right. So we'll go back through that today since the playoffs officially start tomorrow. 4 games on. I cannot wait. It's like 2, 5, 7, and like 9:30. It's just on all day. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And then we do it all again on Sunday. And like this is the perfect. This first week of the first round of the playoffs in the NBA. There's nothing like it in basketball because we're getting multiple games every single day. It's absolutely fantastic, and it all tips off tomorrow. So we'll see if our finals prediction is changed by the Lakers getting the 7th seed, the Warriors potentially getting that 8th seed tonight, and the Wizards getting the 8th seed, and the Celtics getting the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. So we'll see if those new matchups change anything in the grand scheme of who wins the final. So we'll go over that today as well on the show. We'll try to fit in the NFL schedule. We'll try to fit that in, but we haven't been able to fit that in, I think, in the last 2 days. So we'll see if we got time in the show. We'll do that today. So let's just jump right into it with the stories of the day, and the first one's up, and this one's so funny, folks. So we're going to talk about Tim Tebow a little bit more today, not as much as we've been doing, but the Jaguars signed their rookie tight end Luke Farrell to a contract, and it's funny because they actually signed Tim Tebow before they signed their actual draft pick. So I don't know what they're doing out here. I still don't like the Tim Tebow. Obviously, I don't like that pickup at all, and we're gonna have some stuff to back it up. So congratulations to Luke Farrell, and please, he's a 5th round draft pick for the Jaguars. Please go out there and beat Tim Tebow. I don't want to see Luke Farrell get cut and Tim Tebow is on this freaking Jags roster. So I'm rooting for Luke Farrell to actually make this roster now. 5th round pick for the tight end position. Go out, get the job, get it done, don't get cut, and please, God, do not let Tim Tebow take your spot or start over you or anything like that. So Luke Farrell, beat that man up, punch that man in the chest every time you have to go against that man. You probably don't because you're both playing tight ends, so nobody's going to be playing defense, but still, take a shot at Tim Tebow in the chest. See if you could take it, as he's aging out of this league. Well, he was already out of the league, and now he's somehow aging back into the league. I don't get it. But I'm rooting for Luke Farrell here. I'm rooting for this man big. Please do not let Tim Tebow beat you. Alrighty, and now we have an article about Tim Tebow. Former NFL teammate says Tim Tebow, quote, wasn't good as tight end. Yes, of course, folks. I don't know how many times we have to say that, and I have not seen that like once in the media, folks, at all. ESPN, Fox Sports, nobody's bringing it up that, 9 years ago when, this entire Tim Tebow saga was starting to kind of derail when he left the Broncos because they're like, you are so trash. Please get out of our organization. And then he was begging to everybody, Patriots, please. Patriots, Bill Belichick, please. You can fit me in anywhere. I swear I could be good. And then he goes and practices for the Patriots, and Bill Belichick's like, I know talent, obviously. I'm the motherfucking GOAT of coaches. And Tim Tebow, you gotta go because you are absolutely horrible. And then he goes to the Jets, folks, the Jets. And he still couldn't even make it work there. But he was being told, hey, you have to switch your position if you want to stay in the NFL. And he did not want to do that. So it's frustrating to see. that he's now coming back. He's like, well, I can't do anything, so I guess. I mean, talk about, not sticking to your own morals and values. I will not switch from quarterback to tight end. I am a quarterback in this league. Fast forward 9 years, this man's groveling to get back into the league. He was like, yeah, I'll do anything. Tight end? Yeah, I'll be that. You want me to be a lineman? I'll be I'll be a kicker. You want me to kick the ball? I can kick. I got legs. Coach, I got legs. I could be the kicker. I've got legs. Tim Tebow, no, you can't. You can't do anything. So let's see what this former teammate is saying about Tim Tebow here, and saying if everything that we've said is just on par. And I'll take a former player agreeing with me all day, absolutely. So here we go. Tim Tebow and Greg McElroy. All right, Tim Tebow and Greg McElroy have quite a bit in common. Both were former SEC quarterbacks who led their respective college teams to national championships. Both played quarterback for a brief time in the NFL and were even teammates for a brief time with the New York Jets, both having gone on to enjoy success as TV analysts. Okay, I don't know if Tim Tebow was a success as a TV analyst, okay? So let's kind of, use those words sparingly. Tim Tebow never succeeded in anything his entire life, obviously. I mean, have you seen everything that he's done over the last 10 years? He's hopping around at literally everything. Football player, baseball player, ESPN analyst, college football game day analyst. Now he's coming back in the NFL. So he never succeeded in anything, or he would still be doing that one thing. Not, this is like Odd Jobs with, I don't even know that guy's name, but there was a show, I believe, called like Odd Jobs, and he would just do something different every week. And that's Tim Tebow, folks. That's Tim Tebow. Or... y'all remember the TV personality New York from Flavor of Love, and then she had like Odd Jobs, or was that Paris Hilton? That might have been Paris Hilton doing a new job every single week, like Paris Works or something like that. Let me see if I can bring that up real quick. I think it might be Paris Hilton. This man's Paris Hilton, folks. Let me see. What is this? Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Maybe I'll try to figure it out and say it tomorrow on the show. Who was it? It was somebody like that. Maybe it was New York. Let me see. I'm not finding it. So I'll see if I can find it. That's funny. All right, let's go back to this article, though. All right, so Greg McElroy is kind of speaking out about Tim Tebow here. There's one distinct difference between Tim Tebow and McElroy. McElroy hasn't looked back after taking his last NFL snap in 2012. Tebow, on the other hand, has continued to flirt with the idea of keeping his athletic career alive. After several years in the Mets minor league system, Tebow recently had 2 workouts with the Jags as a tight end and officially signed on Thursday. 2 workouts. They met, folks, he had 2 workouts and they signed this man. What? Hasn't played in 9 years, looked at this man twice and was like, yeah, you can come. You can come and try out for our squad. How wild. All right. And he was officially signed on Thursday. And while Urban Meyer has yet to sign his former college quarterback, McElroy feels that the Jaguars would be better off without Tim Tebow. Of course they would. Nobody thought they would be better with Tim Tebow. Nobody ever thought that. That's why it was just such a big surprise when the news officially broke, and we had to spend 47 minutes telling you why this was the dumbest thing we've ever seen. So this is a quote here by McElroy. Quote, the Jets tried switching him to tight end, and he wasn't good. That's what people don't acknowledge, and that's 100% true, folks. I think I'm the only one that's saying it here. He tried to be the tight end. They tried to make that man a tight end already, and it did not work out. McElroy said it's a mistake to compare Tim Tebow to Taysom Hill, and whoever even initially said that, you should be slapped in the mouth for saying that. Taysom Hill is a great quarterback. First of all, he's a great quarterback. We want him to actually be starting this year. I want it to be actually, I want it to be a good camp and a competition between Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill, but we believe in Taysom Hill. He comes in and wins games looking really good. He can make all the throws Tim Tebow can't. So I do not ever compare Tim Tebow to Taysom Hill. So McElroy said it's a mistake to compare Tim Tebow to Taysom Hill, who spent the last several years as a hybrid player within Sean Payton's offense. Furthermore, McElroy does not think that adding Tebow to the roster would be a good move for Meyer in his first season in Jacksonville. Quote by McElroy. Tim ran a 4.840. 4.8, folks, while Taysom Hill ran a 4.4. So there's draft comparisons there in their speed, and we know that Tim Tebow is just a garbage thrower of the football. But continuing on with the quote here, they're just two totally different players. Tim is a good dude. Yeah, and that's the only thing that Tim Tebow has going about him. And I'm not buying the shtick. I'm not buying it. He was teammates with Aaron Hernandez. I'm sure, they were getting into some stuff over there in Florida. But back to the quote here. Tim is a good dude, and I hope the best for him. But it's a sideshow, and that's what it will be come training camp time. And I think it kind of undermines what Urban Meyer is trying to build. The same thing, folks. He's saying exactly everything that we've been saying. Urban Meyer is not a proven head coach in the NFL. Nick Saban was a proven coach in college, went to the NFL, and it absolutely smacked him in the mouth. Had to go back down to college, and that's when we had all the success of Alabama. But Urban Meyer, he like Nick Saban, has not proved himself in the NFL ranks yet. So you can't be making all these wild moves, losing the trust of your players before you even really do anything in the NFL. All right, but back to the quote here. And I think it kind of undermines what Urban Meyer is trying to build. Maybe he makes the team, maybe he doesn't, I don't know. But it's going to take away from the task at hand, which is trying to put together the most competitive roster. Oh my God, I'm in love with this man. Everything he's saying is absolutely on the mother-loving money, folks. Quote, and I bet you there's going to be players, as someone who went to training camp with him, there are going to be players who are rolling their eyes at the amount of attention the fourth string, fifth string tight end gets, and it's going to piss people off. As a result, it's going to affect locker room chemistry, just like it did for us with the Jets, folks. He's already ran through the circus. We already knew this, folks. He already was making the locker room chemistry bad before. Nothing's changed in 9 years, folks. Not because anyone had any animosity towards him. They just have animosity with the coverage Tim receives. So I think it's a stupid move. So, I mean, absolutely exactly what we're saying here. I mean, Tim, this is just a mistake, man. And, like we said, if he's trying to do this for the clout, the attention, just as for jersey sales, we can't even get behind that, folks, because like McElroy just said, folks, it is going to cause a rift in the locker room. The locker room chemistry is going to be off because, you're competing against this guy who everybody in the back of their head is thinking this guy's got no chance, but, he's getting the reps, he's getting the attention, he is battling out these reps that maybe the rookie Luke Farrell should be getting because he's absolutely 1,000% better at the tight end position than Tim Tebow is. So I absolutely hate this Tim Tebow move, man. Urban Meyer, like we said, we can't even trust him going into the season. And honestly, I think I'm liking Dan Campbell over Urban Meyer so far, and that's never a good sign because Dan Campbell is just atrocious as a coach. But that's where we're at with Tim Tebow, folks, and it's just absolutely disgusting. It's just wild that everybody is kind of going along with that, and it's just so frustrating because we know everybody in the media is hyping this up. ESPN, I mean, this is their golden goose of a story. They are freaking milking this story. Everybody's on board. Everybody's saying it's going to work out and they're going to be good. It's just like nobody could be honest anymore. Another reason why we started Takes by Fans. Can we just be honest, folks, in all the takes? You don't need to kind of say stuff to sell. Well, maybe I should because we're not making any money on this podcast yet. But yeah, I mean, it's just like McElroy said, it's a sideshow. It's going to divide the locker room. It's not helping Urban Meyer out any. So it's just nonsense. So we'll see if he makes the team. Now, if he makes the team, then oh my gosh. Like, if this is the publicity stunt that I think it is, I hope it's not. Well, I don't even know what I want it to be. It's just trash all around. But if it is a publicity stunt, then he's not going to make the team. And then, okay, maybe we can pump the brakes a little bit and buy back into Urban Meyer. But if this man makes the final 53-man roster, oh my God, that show, y'all might want to skip the show because it's going to get loud, it's going to get long, and it's going to get ridiculous. So we'll see if he makes the team, but I'm really hoping he's not. But we're not done with Tim Tebow news just quite yet, folks. What have y'all done? What the heck have y'all done? Because if you go to NFLshop.com, the top 5 top sellers on NFLshop.com are all Tim Tebow merchandise. What the hell did y'all do? The number one top selling item so far is Tim Tebow, the men's jersey. The number two selling item is Tim Tebow's women's jersey. The third most selling item so far on NFLshop.com is the men's Jacksonville Jaguars Tim Tebow shirt. The fourth is the women's Tim Tebow shirt. And then the fifth selling item on NFLshop.com is the kids jersey. If you ever put your kid in a Tim Tebow jersey, you should be arrested. You should have that custody taken away of your child. It's disrespectful, and you look like clowns out here. So I don't know what the hell y'all are doing buying Tim Tebow merchandise. And if this, is kind of, to make money and the publicity stunt, then it's working to a T, and you guys are just feeding all into it. And I just cannot respect that at all, folks. If I see anybody on the street with the Tim Tebow jersey, I'm just going to punch him. I'll deal with the consequences, but I'll have good reasoning, and I think the jury will kind of find me innocent on those charges of assaults. But I cannot believe y'all are buying Tim Tebow jerseys and shirts and putting your wives and kids in jerseys of Tim Tebow. Oh my gosh. Disgusting. Truly freaking disgusting, folks. Oh my gosh. All right, so that's all the Tim Tebow news we have to cover for today. Thank goodness. Hopefully the next time we talk about Tim Tebow is him getting cut, and the sooner the better, truly, just so we can make fun of him even more. Oh, Tim Tebow, you had 2 days with the Jags. That work out good for you? Go try another odd job. Alrighty, let's keep moving on here. Alrighty, so we know the Julio Jones rumors are kind of circulating. June 1st is going to be the day they either trade him or keep him, because we know that they save a lot of money against the cap if they get rid of him after June 1st. But Derrick Henry quoted the tweet that says, there's a rumor that, Falcons would like to trade Julio Jones, and Derrick Henry quote tweets it saying, "Tighten the fuck up, folks." And oh my goodness, could you imagine this Titans team with Julio Jones and Corey Davis as their two wide receivers, and then Derrick Henry in the backfield? Oh my God. But Ryan Tannehill would have no excuses. It would be Super Bowl or bust, and Ryan Tannehill would definitely have to step it up. We know we don't have to worry about Derrick Henry. We know we don't have to worry about Corey Davis or Julio Jones. It would all fall on Ryan Tannehill, which we think is kind of the direction that the Titans are trying to move away from. But, obviously everybody would love to have Julio Jones. So if he does get traded and he goes to the Titans, man, oh man, that's going to be a dangerous team, folks. Truly dangerous. So we'll see what happens, but Derrick Henry, he's endorsing Julio Jones coming to the Titans. Alrighty, Julian Edelman. I haven't really talked about this story, but it's been out for a little bit. But we get some more quotes by this man. So Julian Edelman, he ends talks about joining the Bucs. I mean, he initially retired, and then, Rob Gronkowski and Tim Tebow were just playfully saying, hey, come to the Bucs with us so we can win more rings. And Julian Edelman says, hey, I'm a one-team guy. Alrighty, Julian, alrighty. So we get a couple quotes here by Julian Edelman, and they're pretty good, so we can go over these. So, alrighty, he says that I'm a one-team guy of not going to the Bucs and all that. Edelman's statement indicates that isn't in the cards for him, mainly because of the reason he retired. His ailing knee just couldn't take the grueling, unforgiving nature of football anymore. Quote, "My knee's breaking down. I'm not going to sit here, I got everything I wanted. I got 3 rings. I played in a magical dynasty with an unbelievable franchise coach, best quarterback of all time. I'm not a greedy guy. I played to win. I played to compete. I didn't need anything else to prove. I'm good with what I did. I left it all on the field." And man, oh man, I love that. I love that quote. I mean, everybody, when they initially retire, everyone's like, oh, you got to come back. But, Julian Edelman is feeling 100% confident in his decision right here. He feels like he's done everything. He's a 3-time Super Bowl winner, coming up clutch in all those games. So he doesn't need to come back. He's played with Tom Brady. He got coached by Bill Belichick. He's part of the dynasty. He is forever ingrained in this kind of Patriots organization forever. He's the greatest. He's one of their best kind of, winning wide receivers that they've had. And, he doesn't want, for his knees to just turn to dust. He still wants to get some use out of his knees. And, that's something that I don't think gets talked enough about in like professional sports. I mean, the physical toll that, I mean, just one season and one game and 1 week worth of practice that's put on your body. I mean, it's really just truly grueling here. And a lot of players, I mean, CTE, the knees, the arms, everything, they just wear down, and you're a little hindered for the rest of your life medically. So Julian Edelman, he's like, all right, I'm in a good spot right now. My knees, I don't want them to get any worse for the wear. I've got 3 rings. I've played with the Patriots, Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. I'm all good, y'all. I'm all good. So absolutely love it here. And then he's also not tripping about being in the Hall of Fame. Quote, I'm not here to make a case, man. I didn't play the game to be in the Hall. It's an honor to even be mentioned, and if something happens, I'm not going to be worrying about that. I'm going to be worrying about my new job here on Inside the NFL. So he's not worried about getting into the Hall of Fame. We know that's kind of a touchy debate as well. We think so. A lot of people do not agree with that. But, like we said, we've got years for that debate. But absolutely love what Julian Edelman is saying right here. Hey, I'm not coming back. I know it's all good fun. Hey, Rob Gronkowski retired. He came back. Tom Brady left the team, all that. So I get the fun in that. But, Julian Edelman is feeling 100% confident in his decisions, and I'm all about it. So, thought those were some really good quotes there. And he is going to stay retired, folks. Alrighty, let's go to this one. Melvin Gordon out to prove he's still a high caliber back amid competitive Broncos running back room. What's the competition now? A rookie running back? They just got rid of Philip Lindsay, so you've already kind of won the competition. No, so I don't know what he's thinking about here, but let's go in the article and see what we get here by Melvin Gordon. We did not like the decision. We do not endorse the decision to get rid of Philip Lindsay. I thought that was kind of a weird thing to do. He was a proven runner in this league, and you just got rid of him for no reason. And then you drafted a running back with your second round pick. It was just real bizarre, but we'll see how the Broncos deal with it. We'll see. But here we go. Melvin Gordon squeaked into the top 10 in rushing in 2020, finishing with 986 yards and 9 touchdowns on 215 carries. It's the highest he's finished since his 1,100-yard season in 2017. Entering the final season of his 2-year contract with the Denver Broncos, Gordon is out to prove he can remain one of the top rushers in the NFL. Quote, I don't want people to feel like he's lost a step. He's this or that. I almost went for 1,000 yards last year while sharing the ball. Yeah, but so did almost Philip Lindsay. I mean, Philip Lindsay only had 500 yards last season, but he only started 8 games, and Melvin Gordon was kind of the main back. That's why they got rid of Philip Lindsay. But Philip Lindsay's already proved himself his first 2 years in the league, back-to-back 1,000-yard rushes. And Melvin Gordon only has 1,000-yard rushing season in his career, so we still don't get it. And now he's kind of, saying, hey, I'm actually pretty good. Hey, I almost broke 1,000 yards while splitting the ball with Philip Lindsay. Okay, Philip Lindsay was already getting 1,000 yards. So, I don't care that you were splitting carries with Philip Lindsay. If you're that much better, you should have still ran for the 1,000 yards. He came up a little short there, 986. It's still not 1,000, folks. I'm not liking this, but let's keep going here. I almost went for 1,000 yards last year while sharing the ball. It's important to not only show people, but also show myself that I'm still this high caliber back. You're not even the best back on the team last year, folks. If Philip Lindsay had all the carries that Melvin Gordon had, he would have rushed for the 1,000 yards, folks. No problem. We've seen it before. Melvin Gordon struggles to get to the 1,000-yard mark, and he's been in the league a lot longer than, Philip Lindsay has. So this kind of, hey, I'm still trying to prove myself, all this, this kind of quote right here. It's important not only to show people, but also show yourself. Well, how about you show me first? Because I'm not buying it, Melvin. I'm not buying it. I mean, honestly, when he was with the Chargers and that team, with Phillip Rivers and, coming out of there, and Melvin Gordon kind of floundering when he was playing his last couple of seasons with the Chargers, it's just like I don't think he's that good, and I truly think the Broncos made a wrong decision here. But let's see, what else do we get here? The Broncos backfield is once again shaping up as a committee with Gordon as the lead. Despite entering the season in a contract year, the veteran is ready to battle for snaps. He's battling with Javonte Williams, folks, and we do not like him. We do not think he's that good. We do not think he was that impressive in college. We really thought, he's an average, maybe he's just an average back. That's all he is. This running back draft class, as we've said, is, Travis Etienne and Najee Harris, those are going to be two absolute great running backs in this league, but everybody else is just going to be mediocre. So, he's going in expecting a competition. You just beat out Philip Lindsay. So, I'm not buying kind of all this woe is me kind of quotes here. Be like, I still got to compete and all this. You've got the starting job, dude. All right. All right, cool. Obviously, they bring in competition every year in every position. You can look at things in two different fashions. With the Javonte situation, you bring in a back in the second round. My contract is about to be up, so you could look at it as they brought him here to replace me. They're not going to replace you. I mean, they got rid of Philip Lindsay, so it's kind of, starting to be a little clear here that they are going to probably re-sign Melvin Gordon unless he has just an awful, atrocious year for some reason. Alrighty. So you could look at it as they brought him here to replace me, or you could look at it as it's just another way for me to get better. Another guy to push me to greater heights and to see what I can do and see what I can bring and bring it out of me. NFL teams, GMs, head coaches, their jobs are to continue to bring in talent, to keep competition at an all-time high. You can be down about that, or you can show people this is why I'm the guy. I've been competing my whole career. Yeah, you've been competing your entire career, but you haven't been competing that well, so... I'm not the biggest Melvin Gordon fan, and I truly thought it was disrespectful that they got rid of Philip Lindsay. So Melvin Gordon, he's got a lot to prove this year. Final contract year. Let's see if he gets back. And I don't know if anybody's gonna. Well, somebody will probably pick him up if they don't re-sign him. But that's where we're at with Melvin Gordon. I'm not liking it. All right, Buccaneers coach Bruce Arians has no plans to retire anytime soon. Of course. Why would he retire anytime soon? He's finally getting the recognition that he feels he deserves. I mean, we all talk about Bill Belichick as being one of the greatest head coaches of all time, always getting to the Super Bowl, winning the big games every time, creating this 20-year dynasty. Nobody was kind of being talked or, highly regarded as a head coach than Bill Belichick. But then Andy Reid popped up on the scene with Patrick Mahomes and started winning games, the big games, won the ring, all of that. And Bruce Arians kind of feels like, hey, I was just that quarterback away too, just like Andy Reid. But, I got my Tom Brady now. I actually got Tom Brady. I got the Tom Brady. We've been winning games and Super Bowls. We just did it year one. So, of course, Bruce Arians isn't going to retire anytime soon. He's got, Tom Brady for, another season at least, probably two, but we'll see. But, he's just kind of hitting his stride. He's finally at the top now. He can finally kind of be regarded as one of the better coaches in the league. We can't say one of the greatest coaches of all time just because of the bar that Bill Belichick has set. But, he's kind of at that Andy Reid moment now. Hey, I'm actually a good coach. I can scheme. I know talent. I know coaching. I know all of that. I know what works in this league. I just needed that quarterback. Jameis Winston was throwing 30 interceptions. Tom Brady doesn't do that. So I finally got my quarterback that I can rely on to do everything that I want him to do to win these games. And, I'm not going to start retiring now as soon as I've started to hit this pinnacle of coaching. So, of course, he's not going to retire anytime soon. And it's gonna be definitely interesting to see what he can do without Tom Brady. What is going to be the next quarterback he goes with? Whether he's going to draft a rookie and kind of build him up a little bit, or he goes after another kind of franchise guy. But we'll see what he goes with. But Bruce Arians is going to stay being the Bucs head coach for at least till he's done with his contract, which I believe is 5 seasons he's got. Alrighty, Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard on offensive upgrades. Quote, this offense was in need of some more weapons, and I feel like we got that accomplished over the offseason. And yes, sir, folks, we have to remind y'all what they've got. Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, Evan Ingram, and Kadarius Toney, John Ross, folks. So they've just got piece after piece. They're deep at the wide receiver position. And then, we all know they got Saquon Mother-Loving Barkley, one of the best running backs in the league. Obviously not as good as Derrick Henry, but still close, a close second. Maybe not that close, but it's second. It's second. So let's see what Sterling Shepard is saying here. So incumbent starter Sterling Shepard is just as eager as Giants fans to see how the new group melds. Quote, super excited about it. This offense was in need of some more weapons, and I feel like we got that accomplished over the offseason. Shepard doesn't view the additions, particularly the Kadarius Toney selection, as pushing himself further down the depth chart. Yeah, it's Kadarius Toney. Yes, I'm taking Kadarius Toney over Sterling Shepard. Sterling Shepard's not even the best one on their team. Kenny Galladay, I'm taking him over Sterling Shepard, and I think I take Kadarius Toney over Sterling Shepard. So you might want to, reserve that statement. The 28-year-old veteran said he doesn't see himself competing with the rookie for playing time. I think you are. I truly think you are. Kadarius Toney, oh my God, the speed that he's got is just wild. Quote, no, we're different players. We needed weapons. That's just another weapon added to the team and to the offense, and he also brings some value in the return game. So, Sterling Shepard, wide receiver for the Giants, he's not worried about Kadarius Toney, but I definitely think he should be. But, they've got weapons, and we'll see how many they use. I mean, we'll see if they even keep all these weapons. I mean, are they still going to even keep John Ross? I mean, now we're looking at like 5 deep at wide receiver, which is always good. I mean, the Bucs just did it, and they won the ring, so I've got no problems with it. Giving more weapons for Daniel Jones is definitely needed, and all those weapons for Jason Garrett to scheme with as he's the offensive coordinator. So we'll see what the Giants do. We're super big on this Giants team coming into the season. We think, do we have them number 1 at the NFC East? Yes, we do. 6-3, we've got them for the first 10 weeks of the season. So we're big on this team. We think they can beat all the teams this year. They can get it done. We just need to see Daniel Jones be good, and we kind of saw that a little bit last season. So we're still big on this Giants team. They've got all the weapons everywhere, folks, truly. Alrighty, let's go to some basketball news now. Donovan Mitchell, he practiced with the Jazz for the first time since spraining his ankle in mid-April. He was asked if he expects to play Game 1. He said, quote, that's the goal. So absolutely great here. He definitely needs to be back here for the Jazz in the playoffs. They definitely need Donovan Mitchell. He's their lifeblood of their team. Mike Conley and Joe Ingles, they're good, but they're not Donovan Mitchell, and they definitely need that depth coming in, depth for the playoffs, for that long playoff push. And, they're going to be, tested round 1 when they have to face the Warriors or the Grizzlies, most likely the Warriors, but we'll talk about that coming up. But they've got a little bit of a problem with Steph Curry if they have to face him round 1, so they're gonna need all their scorers, all their shooters, and definitely Donovan Mitchell as their floor facilitator to get it done. So glad that he's back, glad that he's gonna be healthy for Game 1, and now we can kind of confidently say that the Jazz have a good chance of winning the chip this season. So Donovan Mitchell is gonna be good for Game 1 here. Alrighty, the Knicks announced their first 2 playoff games are sold out, and we thought it was going to be 13,000 fans in the stands, but it's actually 15,000 in capacity there. That's absolutely fantastic. They will be the largest indoor events in New York since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. So, I mean, man, oh man, the Knicks are great this season. We shouldn't say great. They're good. They're very good this season, and definitely having this kind of home court advantage. First time the Knicks have been in the playoffs in years. And now they're going to have fans back in the stands. They're going to be ready to rock, roaring there in Madison Square Garden. And we know this matchup here between the Knicks and the Hawks is going to be a real close one. And we'll see if this kind of 15,000 fans in the stands here for the Knicks are the difference maker that, puts them the slight edge over the Hawks to come out of the first round of the playoffs. So they're definitely going to need the fans, and they're going to be there. So absolutely fantastic. Go watch some Knicks basketball live, folks. Go watch it. Alrighty, we're going on to this story, and I do not like this at all, folks. We just kind of went through the NFL playoffs the other day, and we chose that the Bucs were our winners. We're feeling very confident in them, but we get Giannis at a press conference yesterday, and I don't know what the hell this man was trying to say, but I do not like it at all. So he was asked if, because the first round of the playoffs are the Heat and the Bucks, and we saw what happened last season. Heat win 4-1. We called that right. We knew the Heat were going to be good last season. We called it right. We called the upset early. I think we called it 4-2 instead of 4-1, but still the same. And everybody was big on the Bucks last season. But we think it's going to be different this season until we get this quote here. Quote, I don't know if this year is going to be different. I'm not going to lie to you. What? You're saying you don't know if it's going to be different? You don't know that you're better than the Heat now? You think you're still going to get beat 4-1 over this Heat team? Giannis, what the hell? What the hell are you saying right here? There's no confidence here in Giannis. And, his face and his demeanor, it's really kind of, I'm not going to lie to you. That's just kind of how he's coming off here. And it's just super disappointing here that he's saying this. Hey, I don't know if this year is going to be different. I'm not going to lie to you. Lie to me, Giannis. Tell me you're going to beat them 4-0, 4-1. Beat them. That you're going to absolutely demolish them. Look, you should just say, did y'all just see what we did to the Nets? We're going to do the same exact thing to the Heat. So I absolutely hate this. And I'm glad that we're going to go back through the playoff scenarios today and kind of crown our winner again. But I mean, this is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Can we even take the Bucks anymore? Because if Giannis isn't even believing in it, why should I? Giannis, lie to me, Giannis. Tell me why you are going to dominate the Heat, because we were buying into you 1,000% up until this quote, but now I'm having cold feet. I'm having second guesses. So we'll see if we're still taking them. And not only did we get this, but we get the flip side of the Heat in what Jimmy Butler is saying. And he says, quote, I think I'm stupidly locked in for the playoffs. Jimmy Butler on the playoffs, quote, I think I'm stupidly locked in. So I got Jimmy Butler, that great competitor that we all know that he is, saying that I think I'm stupidly locked in. Well, Giannis is like, yeah, I think we're going to get beat 4-1 again. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I think we could get beat 4-1 again. We could lose first round of the playoffs again. What? What are y'all talking about? So super disappointed in Giannis off that quote. How do y'all not believe that you're going to win it this year? This Heat team is worse than it was last season. This Bucks team is better than it was last season. But Giannis doesn't see that. I see that. Am I bugging? Am I tripping? Because if Giannis isn't feeling himself, then maybe we shouldn't either. But we'll see if that changes our mind. But man, oh my God, I was super deflated. I was super deflated after I read that. I'm like, I believe in you, Giannis, and you're not even believing in yourself. Come on, cheer up. You just beat the Nets back to back. That was pretty good. No, what's giving you doubt? Bam Adebayo? Are you afraid of Bam Adebayo? So I think when do they play on Sunday or Saturday? Their first game is they play at Saturday. The first game, 2:00. Man, oh man, Giannis, you better mother 11 bring it, man. Jeez. Alrighty, the last story to talk about here. The finalists for all the NBA awards have been announced, and man, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So the MVP, like we said, it's Jokic. The top three are Jokic, Embiid, and Curry. Like we've already went through this, and we're still picking Jokic. Joel Embiid missed 20 games. Steph Curry, it was good. It was a good 2 months, but overall, I think Jokic, he playing every game, being the working his way up to the number 3 seed in the Western Conference, losing Jamal Murray, not losing a step as an overall team. I think we still got to give it to Jokic. The Rookie of the Year, LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton. Like we said, we still think it's Anthony Edwards. He got better every single year. When Karl Anthony Towns and D'Angelo Russell were all playing, that's when he was at his best, and they were winning games. While LaMelo Ball, after the injury, he was never quite the same. He really kind of relied on Gordon Hayward because he still wasn't there, and they really floundered, fell all the way down to that 10th seed. So I still think we give it to Anthony Edwards. But then when we look at, 6 men of the year, it's Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, and then Derrick Rose. That's the top 3. We just crowned Tim Hardaway Jr. the 6th man of the year yesterday on the show. But to have 2 players from the same team, Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles, how does that 6th man of the year candidacy? How is that? If you're a deep team, how are you gonna get a 6th man of the year award? You don't need that 6th man because you're deep. You've got a 7th man. You've got an 8th man. You've got a 10th man. Y'all got 10 men on that team that are good. So I absolutely hate that it's Jordan Clarkson and Joe Ingles. Jordan Clarkson's most likely gonna win it. Having Derrick Rose in the top 3, I think, is a little head scratching. I think Montrezl Harrell deserves it a little bit above him. And I'm not knocking Derrick Rose, what he's kind of done, but it was like half the season. He didn't even get to New York till like the trade deadline. So I don't know what these voters are thinking, leaving out a lot of good players here. And we know that LaMelo Ball is probably going to win Rookie of the Year for some reason, looking at Vegas and those odds, which is, once again, a little head-scratching. He's a big name. He's just a bigger name, so he gets a little bit more media coverage, but we here at Takes by Fans, another reason why we do the show, because we talk about every team and every single player. You don't get that in the national media, folks. So I hate the Sixth Man of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy Gobert, Ben Simmons, and Draymond Green. I'd be fine with either of those three players winning it, honestly. Draymond Green, I absolutely love and respect him. I'm kind of glad that he's getting a little bit of a nod here, being in the top finalists for Defensive Player of the Year, so I'm all about that. Coach of the Year, Dan Snyder for Utah. So they got the Sixth Man of the Year and Coach of the Year. Tom Thibodeau for the Knicks. He should 1,000% win this award. 1,000%, getting the Knicks into the 4th seed his first year. Is this his first year coaching the Knicks? He wasn't here. Was he there last year in the bubble? Let me quickly get that up. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, they still had David Fizdale. So, yeah, I mean, 1,000% Tom Thibodeau deserves this award for Coach of the Year for the Knicks, getting them to that 4th seed, home court advantage for the first round of the playoffs, getting to the playoffs with really, I mean, no real good players. Derrick Rose, who's, always is injured, unfortunately, so, a little bit of less than a superstar just because he's been, his knees have been degraded a little bit. So he's still a good player, don't get us wrong, but he's not that A1 tier 1 player anymore. Julius Randle, who has never had a good season in his entire career, is finally popping off now, and they've got the number 1 defense in the league. So I 1,000% give it to Tom Thibodeau here. And then the most improved player, Jeremy Grant for Detroit. He didn't even play that many games, so I don't give it to him. Michael Porter Jr. for Denver, and that's a real interesting one, and I'm glad that he's getting the respect he deserves because I don't know if he's really most improved. He was still decent last season. It's definitely a step up from last season to this season. Definitely a tremendous step up, and definitely even bigger step up ever since Jamal Murray went down. But I don't know if he's most improved. I thought he was still pretty good last season. And then Julius Randle for the Knicks, most improved. And I think I may give it to him. I think I do kind of like him getting it. He's having an absolutely great year. He's that leader for that Knicks team. And let's just get his stats up real quick. His career stats. Julius Randle, here we go. His career averages are 17 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. This season, 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, getting it done. He's shooting 41% from the 3, folks. That's absolutely fantastic. Not that many players are shooting above 40% from 3. It's like Steph Curry, Julius Randle, and I think there is one more that I'm forgetting. I can't remember right now, but that absolutely great from 3. His career averages is 34%, so he's absolutely getting it done. So very well done. I really think it should be Julius Randle for most improved. I don't think Michael Porter Jr. is that much in. I guess he is a little improved. Let's see what his stats are. What was he averaging last year? All right, so Michael Porter Jr. this season, 19.7 rebounds, 1 assist. His career is 14.6 rebounds and 1 assist. He's also shooting 44% from the 3 this year. Absolutely fantastic, man. All right. Maybe there are a little bit more players that are shooting better than 40%. I didn't think it was going to be that many, but here's Michael Porter Jr. at 44%. Absolutely fantastic. So, I still think we give it to Julius Randle for most improved. So those are the award finalists, and I do not like that LaMelo Ball is pretty much going to win Rookie of the Year. I do not agree. Alrighty, those were all the stories that we needed to talk about for today's action. So let's head over to the NBA. We'll break down the game from last night, do our moneymaker for tonight's action, and then we'll walk through the NBA playoffs. So, Pacers, Wizards. We chose the Pacers minus 3.5, and man, oh man, what a dumb decision that was. I mean, betting against the Wizards, what were we thinking? We were big on this Wizards team all season. We were not big on this Pacers team all season, but that first playing game with that Pacers team against that Hornets when they put up 144 points, that was looking real good, and then they just came out here and floundered from the field in their last playing game. So very well done to the Wizards getting that last playoff spot. Absolutely love it. That's what we wanted to see. So let's start here with the Wizards. Russell Westbrook, 18 points, 15 assists, only 8 rebounds, so a little shy of a triple-double, but he only had 3 turnovers. That's what we're talking about. Bradley Beal back at the 2, 25 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. He shot 4 of 7 from the 3. Yes, sir. Alex Len, 4 points, 7 rebounds. He only played 13 minutes. Rui Hachimura had a good game, 18 points, 2 of 3 from the 3, 4 rebounds to go along with that. And then Raul Neto, folks, 14 points, 3 rebounds on 2 of 4 from 3. So everybody was really efficient here from the 3. They shot 50% from the 3 as a team, where the Pacers shot 36%. Once again, that great scoreability that the Pacers had in their first playing tournament game against the Hornets, it did not show up last night. So road teams or home teams win the play-in tournament games. So we'll keep that in mind when we look at the Memphis Grizzlies and the Warriors tonight. So well done for all those starters here. Off the bench, Daniel Gafford, 15 points and 13 rebounds. A great night by him. Ish Smith put up 8 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. He shot 57%. Davis Bertans, 9 points on 2 of 6 from the 3. Robin Lopez, he's really going to be a force here. He's going to have to get a lot more playing time if this Wizards team wants to go a little far here. He only played 6 minutes last night, but 9 points and 3 rebounds in only 6 minutes. That's pretty dang good. He was also plus 7 on the floor. And then Anthony Gill off the bench, 10 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist in only 6 minutes. So the Wizards, they're going to need all their kind of bench, all their role players to step it up here. They did it last night. We'll see if they can continue to do it, but very well done for the Wizards. Going to be tough. I mean, they got to face the 76ers in the first round of the playoffs, and that's going to be absolutely brutal because Joel Embiid down low is just going to, they've got nobody to stop him. So that's why Robin Lopez, he's going to have to play a lot more. Alex Len, we do not like him at all as a big, so we got to see Robin Lopez step it up a little bit more, and hopefully he plays a little bit more than 6 minutes. Alrighty, and then Daniel Gafford as well. He's got to step up, and he did it last night. The 15 points and 13 rebounds, like we've said. So we'll see how they're going to be able to handle Joel Embiid, but I don't think it's going to be that good. All right, the Pacers now. Domantas Sabonis, 19 points, 10 assists, 11 rebounds. He got the triple-double, but it ends in a loss. Justin Holiday, 6 points on 30% shooting. Malcolm Brogdon, 24 points, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He shot 4 of 9 from 3 and 39% on 23 shots. Not efficient. O'Shea Brissett, 10 points, 6 rebounds on 2 of 5 from the 3. And then Doug McDermott, he couldn't get out to that hot start like he did against the Hornets. Only 13 points, 3 of 7 from the 3. He put up like 13 points in the first 4 minutes of that Hornets game, so not even close to what he did in the first game, and kind of a solid reason why they ended up losing the game, unfortunately. Off the bench here for the Pacers, we got Kellen Martin, 13 points, 5 rebounds, and Cassius Stanley, 11 points and 3 rebounds. So I'm glad that we're saying officially goodbye to the Pacers. We did not want to see them in the playoffs. We really wanted to see this Wizards team with Russell Westbrook go against the Nets, and it's really not going to happen anymore. The only reason it could have happened if they beat the Celtics in that first play-in tournament game, so they were the 7th seed, but I can't see this Wizards team getting past the first round, and I cannot see that at all. So would they have to? How many rounds would they have to get by? They would have to get to the Eastern Conference Finals to face the Nets, and that is definitely not going to happen. So, unfortunate there. We don't get Russell Westbrook versus Kevin Durant and James Harden. How great would that be? But we do not get that. But we'll see what the Wizards can do here in the first round against the 76ers. It's going to be tough, like we said, but if there's anybody that can do it, it's Russell Westbrook, because that man is a straight-up dog, folks. So he did his thing last night, got the win. They win 142-115. Very well done for the Wizards. Alrighty, let's go to tonight's action. Last play-in tournament game, Warriors-Grizzlies. Warriors at home. So kind of forcing our hand here. The home team has won every single meeting, and kind of convincingly. The only close game was the Lakers and the Warriors, because those are actually two good teams. Everybody else is kind of really lackluster. But we also know that this Grizzlies team and the Warriors faced with the last game of the regular season. Was it the last one? I think it was the last one. Let me bring this up. Yeah, last game of the regular season. Last Sunday, the 16th. The Warriors win by 12, but remember, in that game, Dillon Brooks fouled out with like 7 minutes left, and then Steph Curry went absolutely wild because Dillon Brooks was locking him up all game, and then he fouled out, so there was no defense on Steph Curry anymore, and that's when he took over. So we kind of saw this meeting as well a little earlier, so we can kind of use this to kind of help judge us in this action as well. But let's go to tonight's action. Get the lines up to date here. Pacers plus 3.5. I still cannot believe y'all let me do that. Alrighty, here we go. Oh man, the spread. Grizzlies plus 5. Warriors minus 5. Let's see if everybody's good to go here. Everybody's good to go for the Grizzlies, so watch for Grayson Allen. And for the Warriors, Kelly Oubre Jr. is still out, so once again, a good sign. And Damian Lee is a game-time decision, so we'll see if he's good to go here. What is he averaging? What is Damian Lee averaging? It's not bad. What is he averaging? 6 points, 1 assist, 3 rebounds in 19 minutes a game. Not bad. He's had his moments this season. Alrighty, so Grizzlies, Warriors minus 5. I think the Warriors still get it done this game. Just like we said, that home court advantage has really been the proof in these play-in tournament games so far. But when we go back to this Grizzlies team, who did not step up this game? Who did not have a good game? Jonas Valanciunas had 29 points and 16 rebounds. I don't know if he's going to be able to replicate that again. After that Warriors team just kind of got warmed up down low of locking up Anthony Davis and Andre Drummond and a little bit of LeBron James, just a little bit. All that beef down low, maybe preparing them to lock up Valanciunas this game. Like we said, Dillon Brooks fouled out. John Morant shot 1 of 6 from the 3. That's not that great. He only had 16 points. He had 9 assists as well. There was no Grayson Allen in that game. I'm assuming he's still going to come off the bench just because of how well Dillon Brooks has been playing and Jaren Jackson Jr. have been playing. So I don't think Grayson Allen gets back into the starting lineup here. The bench really was nothing good in this game against the Warriors on Sunday. Desmond Bane was the leading scorer with 8 points. So once again, coming off the bench, having that extra bench player here with Grayson Allen, the shooter of the 3. So maybe average in another kind of 8 or 10 points here. And they lost by 12, so a little bit of a closer game. Now let's see what the Warriors were doing in this game. Andrew Wiggins had 21 points and 10 rebounds. He's going to have to do it again. Steph Curry went for 46 points on 9 of 22 from the 3. Kevon Looney only had 6 points. Kent Bazemore only had 2 points, so we can expect them to get a little bit more points. But is Curry going to go crazy like he did in the first game? Probably, because he knows he needs to do it to get into the playoffs. So it's going to be interesting here. We're going to take the Warriors minus 5 here. We got to believe in this Warriors team. It's Steph Curry. I can't not trust them. But if Dillon Brooks is going to be on Steph Curry and he doesn't get into foul trouble and he can be in for the entire game, the game could maybe be a little bit closer than a lot of people are expecting, because we just saw this matchup and it did not get out of hand until he fouled out, folks. So we're going to believe in Steph Curry. We want to see the Warriors over the Grizzlies in the playoffs. I mean, I don't want to see John Morant over Steph Curry. I mean, there's no reality that I want to see that. It's Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. Him alone can pull it off by himself against any team, and I would like to see that over a Grizzlies team that at full strength, they're basically just 500. So we're going to take the Warriors minus 5 tonight, folks, in our moneymaker. Alrighty, let's head over to the playoffs, and we're going to go through every series, predict the winners, and then crown our champion, because the playoffs start tomorrow. Now, we did this a little earlier in the week. Did we do it? I think earlier this week. I think we did it this week. But yeah, we did it earlier this week, and we got all the play-in tournament games wrong. We've had the teams right, just the seeding is off. So we've got to do it again just to kind of see if if these new matchups at the 1 and 8 seed and 2 and 7 seed for the Eastern and Western Conference, if that is going to change anything in the overall outcome of our true champions. Now, we are going to assume that the Warriors are going to win tonight. So when we talk about the Jazz and the 1-8 seed in the Western Conference with the Jazz, we are going to kind of figure it is against this Warriors team. And then we don't want to kind of wait because, I mean, playoffs start tomorrow at 2 o'clock. We do the show at noon. Clips in the show aren't going to come out until after 2 o'clock. So we're going to do it today and just assume that the Warriors are going to win. So let's start here at the Jazz and the Warriors matchup. 1-8 matchup here. We're going to start with the Western Conference. So Jazz, Warriors, like we said at the top of the show in the stories of the day, Donovan Mitchell is back. He's going to be healthy for this game 1. They've got Jordan Clarkson, who's going to be 6th man of the year. They're going to have Mike Conley. They're going to have Joe Ingles, Rudy Gobert down low. They'll lock up Kevon Looney. That's going to be easy peasy. So we're gonna take this. With this Warriors team. Yes, they are good. Yes, Steph Curry is good, but overall, they're not gonna have that bench that this Jazz team has. Now, if all the starters, are kind of, very tied up, it's really gonna be the bench that makes the difference. With this Jazz team just having such deep bench, folks. Let me get the. Do I got it up? No, I don't. Let me get their depth chart up here. So you're going to have Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, Joe Ingles now coming off the bench because, like we said, Donovan Mitchell is back. Mike Conley maybe scooting over to the 2, and then Bogdanovich, folks. Oh my goodness, how great have both Bogdanoviches been this season, and that's going to be the main scorer here. That's their deadly score where, the Warriors have Steph Curry, obviously, Bojan Bogdanović. Y'all got to start respecting him, and then Georges Niang. We'll see how he does in this playoff series. We kind of saw him get into the starting lineup a little bit, but never really kind of, step up his game. But coming off the bench, we can expect 10 points from this man. So this Jazz team is just too deep, I think, for this Warriors team. Where this Warriors team, they don't have anybody else besides their starting 5. And this Jazz team we can rely on. Basically, their second unit is kind of a decent squad, a decent starting 5, honestly. So we're going to take this Jazz team, and we think they kind of win 4-1. We don't think it's going to be that big. So we're going to take the Jazz in 5 over the Warriors. All right, then we get the Clippers and the Mavericks now. All righty. This Clippers team at the 4 seed, Mavericks at the 5 seed. This Mavericks team, I mean, we can't really rely on anybody besides Luka Doncic. Now, Kristaps Porzingis probably going to play the 4. We'll see how the Clippers are going to be able to deal with them. The Clippers don't have the best bigs. They got Serge Ibaka, who's coming back, so hopefully he can provide that kind of spark. He's a good 3-point shooting big out there. Let's get their depth chart up. We also want Patrick Beverley to come off the bench. So we'll see. We do like Reggie Jackson being the starting point guard over Patrick Beverley. We think Reggie Jackson's steps up his performance when he's in the starting roster, where Patrick Beverley in the starting lineup or off the bench, he's not a scorer. So, I mean, Reggie Jackson, get him those minutes, get him those more touches, because we can expect points coming out from Reggie Jackson. So, but down low, Zubac in Serge Ibaka, Marcus Morris having to go kind of, against Kristaps Porzingis a little bit. How is that going to play out? Luka Doncic, it's obviously very good, we know. Tim Hardaway Jr., who we thought who should at least have been in the conversation for 6th man of the year, has not happened, obviously, unfortunately. But let's get their depth chart up. We really can't rely on anybody else to score the ball. Dorian Finney-Smith is, lackluster. Jalen Brunson's solid. Josh Richardson is pretty solid. But, their bigs, House, Kristaps Porzingis, is he going to be able to even stay healthy? We kind of saw him. He missed a couple of games down the stretch. He did kind of play, I think, their last 2 games. But we always know that he's kind of a liability there in the health department. And then it's just Paul George. How is he going to step it up here? This is a huge series. We saw kind of the Clippers choose this matchup a little bit. They had the chance to move up to that third seed with that win with the final day of NBA action, but they decided to tank a little bit. Same thing with the Nuggets. Nobody really wanted to be that third seed. Nobody really wanted to face the Blazers for some reason, or they were trying to avoid the Lakers as much as possible. So this Clippers team needs to step up, because if they tanked for this Mavericks team and then they lose first round, it's not a good look for anybody, especially if what the Clippers just did last season in the bubble in the playoffs. Absolutely not good. So first round of the playoffs, I'm going to take the Clippers here in 6. I think the Mavericks are able to kind of steal some, just like we saw in the bubble. Luka Doncic hitting those clutch shots. That's what he does, folks. He's a great scorer. Curry-esque in the sense that, he can kind of, dribble and kind of pull up from wherever. Not as consistent as Steph Curry, and I'm not going to even go in that argument, but a little esque of what Steph Curry can do. Maybe, the Warriors are able to steal a game over the Jazz because of Steph Curry. Luka Doncic is able to carry this team maybe 1 or 2 games over the Clippers, but at the end of the day, I'm going to take that Paul George. This is going to be his year, folks. This is going to be his season to really step it up in the playoffs. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet, so, that's something that we are just kind of having a little bit of faith in, but I can't see this Clippers team, after everything they went through last season, of floundering in the playoffs and then doing it again here against this Mavericks team. So we're going to take the Clippers in 6. All right, Denver Nuggets and the Portland Trailblazers, and I really think this is the best matchup here for this Blazers team. Obviously, going against the Mavericks would have been great. Going against the Warriors, maybe not the greatest. So this is probably the best matchup here for this Blazers team, because Denver without Jamal Murray, so they're not going to have that good point guard, but we know Facundo Campazzo, the rookie, has been absolutely getting it done, and, we honestly should have probably, given him a little bit more respect as Rookie of the Year, honestly, because he's been stepping up without Jamal Murray in this lineup and really kind of just being the game manager that we need him to be for this Nuggets team to succeed. They have the MVP, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. We are big on. We love it. He's stepping it up absolutely 100,000%. With Jamal Murray, and then without Jamal Murray, he stepped it up even more. And we love Michael Porter Jr. for that. We praise him for that because he wanted this. He wanted this role. He wants to really be the number 1 option. You're not going to be the number 1 option with Jokic, but you could be this number 2 option without Jamal Murray now. Aaron Gordon at the 3. For this, or at the 4 for this Nuggets team. He's a good defender. He hasn't really been able to get, high offensive production in this lineup of what this Nuggets team is, because they go down low to Jokic. They got the 3 of Michael Porter Jr. So, Aaron Gordon, he's just there for the defense and the beef down low. But for this Blazers team, and then who's there 2? Who's this Nuggets 2? I got them up. Let's bring the Nuggets up. The bench of the Nuggets is going to be probably the biggest thing here, but the Blazers don't have that good bench either. So 2 really solid starting lineups here that really don't have the best bench. For the Nuggets, they've got Paul Millsap, who's always a solid defender out there. He was in the starting lineup until Aaron Gordon got there, so that's still a solid piece coming off the bench. Will Barton is their starting 2 here. Solid there. We need Austin Rivers also to step it up. We saw him get signed in the back half of the season here. But, they got Michael Porter Jr., Jokic, Facundo Campazzo. Monte Morris is now healthy. So, another kind of bench piece for the squad. A nice point guard. So this Nuggets team, we can rely on the MVP Jokic. And then for this Blazers team, obviously we got Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, obviously very good. We got Norman Powell now at the 3. But how is Nurkic going to be able to handle Jokic down low? Probably not good at all. Enes Kanter is probably their best bench player. Carmelo Anthony has not been as good as he was last year in the bubble. So it's really going to have to be Damian Lillard stepping it up himself. And at the end of the day, I got to go with Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. I think this one goes 7, but this is the Blazers' best chance for an upset in the first round. We'll see if they go and take it, but we know this Blazers team is the same every single season. They're solid. They're a solid team, don't get us wrong, but they can never win that kind of full playoff series or make that deep playoff run. So we're going to have this Nuggets team at home. Jokic, really just, I cannot see Nurkic really locking him up at all. So that's really going to be their downfall. And we'll have the Nuggets in 7. All right, then we get the Suns and the Lakers, man, and I'm seeing everybody taking the Lakers, and I don't get it, man. This Lakers team is going to have to run the absolute gauntlet to get to the finals. They have to face the Suns, and then they're going to have to face the Nuggets, and then if they make it past both those teams, you're looking at the Jazz most likely. Jazz or the Clippers. That's a tough kind of road. That's just to get to the finals where you're probably going to run into the 76ers, the Bucks, or the Nets. Big beef down low in the 76ers and the Bucks, or the great outside shooting on the Nets. So this is going to be tough for this Lakers team to repeat, and I really don't think they do. I honestly don't even think they get out of the first round. A lot of people are disrespecting this Suns team. Did y'all just see what the Suns did last year in the bubble, getting it done? Now, I know they didn't make the playoffs, but they won all their playoff games because of Devin Booker. Now you got the floor facilitator of Chris Paul, and they're the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. All right, but the bigs of the Lakers is going to be the problem for the Suns team. They've got, DeAndre Ayton's not the best defender down low, and I think he's definitely going to struggle against Anthony Davis down low, so I do get that, but they've also got Jay Crowder, and who did Jay Crowder help beat last year in the playoffs? The Bucks of Brook Lopez and Giannis down low, so I do think this Suns team is a lot better, especially at the big position than a lot of teams are giving them credit for. Jay Crowder needs to be back in the starting lineup here. I hope that he is. Who have they been going with besides Jay Crowder? Because I believe Jay Crowder got injured, not bigly, but a little bit. Yeah, so he is back in the starting lineup. Thank goodness. Hopefully they keep him there at the 4, because they definitely are going to need his kind of beef and good defense down low to beat and upset this Lakers team. The thing that we can't trust about this Lakers team is the outside shooting, and the Suns have that. They've got Chris Paul, they got Devin Booker, they got McCall Bridges, they've got the bench. Now, the bench is going to be the key here for the Suns team. They are deeper than this Lakers team. We get Cameron Payne, Torrey Craig, Dario Saric, and once again, Dario Saric could also be a nice defensive piece. Frank Kaminsky, we like him. We think he's solid as kind of a third option. So we do think that this Suns team is going to be able to handle the beef down low of the Lakers. And if you handle that, you're going to have to rely on Kyle Kuzma, Talen Horton-Tucker, Alex Caruso to be the outside shooters. And did we just see what Dennis Schroeder did against Steph Curry in their first play-in tournament game? Dennis Schroeder floundered big time. He shot like 1 of 6 from the 3. He was a -20. He was a -20 on the floor. And now he's going against Chris Paul. And you don't think Chris Paul is going to be able to lock up Dennis Schroeder? Steph Curry locked up Dennis Schroeder. So Chris Paul's obviously going to be able to do the same thing here. The only thing that the Lakers have going for them is LeBron James, and I understand that is you have to weigh that huge. You do have to weigh that absolutely huge, and we are going to do that. But at the end of the day, we got this Suns in 6. We think LeBron James helps them for 2 games. That he's the reason for their 2 wins, but we can't really trust anybody else on this Lakers team. Anthony Davis, he floundered in the first half of that Warriors game. Yes, he did decently in the second half, but I mean, in a 7-game series, if you're going to go through these spurts, this Suns team is going to take advantage. So I've got the Suns beating the Lakers here, and I know a lot of people don't have that, but I cannot get behind this Lakers team, folks. I truly can't. I can get behind LeBron James 1,000%, don't get me wrong, but when I got Devin Booker and Chris Paul and Jay Crowder, I'm going to take them. Sorry. Andre Drummond's not even that good, folks. he kind of finessed the Lakers, honestly, a little bit. So I got the Suns in 6, folks. Alrighty, then we get the Jazz and the Clippers in the Western Conference second round here, semifinals. Jazz 1 seed, Clippers 4 seed. And like I said, folks, this Jazz team is just truly deep. This Clippers team is decently deep. They've got, Serge Ibaka coming off the bench. He's able to hit the 3. But when we're looking at kind of scoring potential here, it gets a little lackluster. We got to rely on Rondo to get it done, which we know he can. Playoff Rondo is definitely serious, and we have to respect it. But I just cannot get behind this bench, and it's going to all have to be Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, folks. So I'm going to go with the Jazz here. Like we said, this Bogdanovich, man, and Donovan Mitchell back, and Rudy Gobert, this team is absolutely stacked, and they're deep, folks. I got to give it up for them. I'm going to take the Jazz in 6 over the Clippers. All right, then we get the Denver Nuggets and the Phoenix Suns, and this is just truly unfortunate here by Denver. It's just unfortunate they're not deep enough here, and that's really going to be, I think, I think that's really going to be kind of the narrative here in this playoff series, especially of how just short the season was and all the back-to-back and all the injuries. If you are deep, you're probably going to make it far because, you've got some reserves, you got the bench, you can kind of rest your starters more than the other team can, and I really think that's going to be the worst part for this Denver Nuggets team. Losing Jamal Murray was absolutely a huge blow. Now, in the regular season, they were still winning games consistently, and that's why we absolutely love everything about this Nuggets team, but at the end of the day, this Suns team is a little bit deeper. Like we said, Jay Crowder, if he's able to handle Anthony Davis down low, Jokic, it's there. I do think I like Jokic a little bit more than Anthony Davis, but you're still able to kind of shut him down a little bit, and I think the Suns are going to be able to win this series against the Nuggets. We're going to go the Suns in 6. And that brings the Jazz and the Suns in the Western Conference Finals here. And once again, the bench. And we got Donovan Mitchell versus Chris Paul. We got Rudy Gobert versus DeAndre Ayton, and we got Bojan Bogdanovic versus Michael Porter Jr. So they really do kind of line up like that, but I do like this Jazz bench better than the Suns bench, and Chris Paul has just never been able to get it done in the playoffs. I don't think he's ever been to the conference finals. Maybe he did one year with the Clippers, but still floundered in that series. But I'm going to take the Jazz here. Probably in 7 against the Suns, but I just don't think DeAndre Ayton is going to be kind of the most liability here for the Suns, and we'll see if he's able to play well in this playoff series. But if they get deep in the playoffs, I can't go with DeAndre Ayton. So we got the Jazz coming out of the West. So now let's go over to the East. First round matchup is the 76ers and the Wizards. And folks, I'm going to respect the Wizards here, and say Philadelphia in 5, folks. I'll give Russell Westbrook 1 win, but just the beef down low. The Wizards are not going to be able to keep up with it. Joel Embiid down low is going to eat. He's going to average like 35 points a game. Easy peasy, no problem. You got the great defense of Ben Simmons. You got Seth Curry and Danny Green who can hit the wide open 3, and then you got Tobias Harris. Oh, and then they're also deep off the bench. Dwight Howard. I think I take Dwight Howard over Alex Len and Robin Lopez and all that for the bigs of Washington. I think I'd take Dwight Howard over those two. And then Shake Milton off the bench. So they just have nice scorers here. The 76ers team, they are a complete team. Their roster, their starting 5 is absolutely fantastic. And Joel Embiid is going to just bully his way past this Wizards team. Congratulations for Russell Westbrook to get into the playoffs, but you definitely should have gotten that 7th seed because the Nets would have been a little bit of an easier matchup. You still would have lost, but it would have been a little bit of an easier matchup. The 76ers, there's 0% chance that the Wizards win. 0%. Alrighty, the Knicks and the Hawks, and man, oh man, folks, going to be an absolutely great series. This is probably going to be, is this going to be the closest series in the first round? Potentially. I think this goes 7, and I think I have to give the slight edge over the Hawks. Now, the Knicks are in home court advantage, so that's going to be huge for them. We just told you 15,000 fans in the stands for the first 2 games, so it's going to be roaring, it's going to be rocking, and it's definitely going to help them get it done. But this Hawks team, they've got the nice starting 5. This Knicks team does not have the good starting 5. They got Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. Yes, we can get behind them. But this Hawks team, we got Clint Capella. We got Bogdanovic. Folks, another Bogdanovic. Which Bogdanovic is this one? Let me get this Hawks lineup here. Bogdanovic. I mean, man, oh man, that great elite score. And the Knicks are really not going to have an answer for him. And then John Collins and DeAndre Hunter and all that. And then off the bench, Danilo Gallinari. I'm not the biggest fan of Lou Williams. He doesn't really get it done, in my opinion. I think he's a little overrated, little bit. But I can rely on the starters here for this Hawks team, 1 through 5. I believe in all of them. They've got the nice shooters. They got the floor facilitators. And then it's Nerlens Noel versus Clint Capella. Clint Capella, who's averaging 15 points and 14 rebounds a game. Nerlens Noel is not going to be anywhere close to that. And then it's Taj Gibson off the bench as their other big. And then it's Derrick Rose. And Emmanuel Quickley has really floundered this entire season. And just their bench is not the greatest. Their entire starting roster is not the greatest. Let's go through it. Let's get this Knicks team up. Our depth chart. All right, I mean, Alfred Payton, Reggie Bullock is solid. He's come up clutch some games for this Knicks team this year. But then off the bench, I can rely on Derrick Rose, but that's it. Emmanuel Quickley, Alec Burks, Obi Toppin, I can not rely on any of those players. So this Knicks team, they need all their starters and the bench to get it done on a nightly basis to win. Where the Hawks, I can just rely on their starters. So it's unfortunate, man, but I got to go with the Hawks here. I just think they've got the better scorability overall than the Knicks do. The Knicks do play good defense, and that's definitely going to be able to help them in the series against the Hawks. But at the end of the day, I got to go with the scoring ability. That's the Hawks, and they win it in 7. Alrighty, and this is probably my most anticipated first matchup of the first round here. The Bucks and the Heat, the rematch of the playoffs last year where the Heat upset the Bucks. We called that upset last year in the bubble. We knew the Heat were absolutely fantastic, but I do not believe the Heat are going to be able to get it done this season, this year. But, let's go back to what we've talked about a little bit earlier in the show of Giannis not even believing in himself, and, this is really putting a bad taste in our mouth, folks, saying that I don't know if this year is going to be different. I'm not going to lie to you. And he was looking real defeated. Just look at his body language here, leaning back, really nonchalant attitude, all of this, and, he doesn't even know if he can beat the Heat, and it's like, what kind of shit is that? And then you got Jimmy Butler saying that I think I'm stupidly locked in. And we know Jimmy Butler is an absolute dog and a competitor out there. So I don't like what we were getting from Giannis there, but I still like what the Bucks are this year compared to last year. Like I said, we called the upset of the Heat over the Bucks. We called it in 6. We said it would be 4-2 Heat. But I don't think it's going to be the same this year. I got to go with the Bucks here, and I think they get it done a little bit easily. 6 games, Bucks in 6. When we compare what happened last year in the first round of the playoffs, I mean, Giannis, he only put up 87 points in the entire series, and it went 5 games. He only played 4 games. He was a little banged up. He only averaged 21 points a game there. He's gonna definitely be a lot better. We just saw what he did against the Nets, just driving down low. And the one thing that the Heat had last year was Bam Adebayo. Obviously, they still got it, but they had Jay Crowder, that another great defensive player at the 4 to lock up the bigs down low. They don't have that. They also had Kelly Olynyk. Now, he's not the best big. He's a good scoring big. He's not a great defensive down low big, but they had some 3 nice defenders on that team to lock up Giannis. They don't have that this year. They got Bam Adebayo still, and then they got Trevor Ariza, who's been a little hit and miss this year. He's been solid, don't get me wrong, but then they don't have that big depth off the bench to help them out anymore. So they're going to have to rely on Andre Iguodala, and I don't know how much more he's got. I mean, every time he plays in the playoffs, I'm always impressed. But, is it going to happen this year again? So... And then also they had Eric Bledsoe on their team last year. The Bucks did. Absolutely trash. Now they kind of upgraded that to a Drew Holiday, so they've got that. And then the Bucks also have PJ Tucker off the bench. So this Bucks team is a lot more beefier than it was last year. This Heat team is not as beefy as they were last year. I can't rely on Tyler Hero this year. Last year in the bubble, he was fantastic. I can't rely on him this year. Duncan Robinson, I don't think he's that great. He puts up like 9 points a game. It's truly not intimidating to me. So I'm going to go the Bucks here. I think they've got a better overall roster where this Heat team is not matched up to beat this Bucks team. The outside shooting is not as good as it was last year. And then they don't have Jay Crowder and Kelly Olynyk to kind of help with the beef down low of Giannis and this Bucks team. And we just saw Giannis be absolutely super mega aggressive when they were facing the Heat this Nets team back to back. In like the last 3 weeks of the regular season, and Giannis was just attacking, putting up 46 points a game, 40 points a game. So we think he's still going to do it here against this Heat team. I don't think this Heat team is as good as they were last year in the bubble, and I've got the Bucks with the upset, or the Bucks with the revenge of the upset of last season. All right, Nets in the Celtics, and this is easy. Four games with the Nets. That's it. Yes, Jason Tatum. That's it. That's all they got, and he better be putting up 45 points every single game because this Nets team, James Harden's good to go, Kevin Durant's good to go, Kyrie Irving is good to go. This Celtics team does not have the bench to keep up with the Nets. The Nets got Bruce Brown and Joe Harris coming off the bench, or just kind of being not 4 and 5 players deep on this team. Now, the Celtics don't have good bigs, but neither do the Nets, so they're not going to be able to compete there, and it's just Jason Tatum. I'm going to take Kyrie Irving and James Harden and Kevin Durant over Jason Tatum. That is all the Celtics had. This is an easy sweep here for the Nets. Go rest because you got the Bucks coming up next. Alrighty, 76ers and the Hawks, and I'm going to go the 76ers here in 5? 5? I'll go 6. I'll give the Hawks a little bit of credit here. I do think Bogdanovich is really just going to be an absolute freaking shooter out here all throughout this playoffs, but I got to go to the 76ers once again down low. Now, Clint Capella can challenge Joel Embiid a little bit down low, definitely better than what the Wizards were able to do the first round. But overall, I mean, we can rely on the 76ers shooters. Tobias Harris is an absolute, like we said, I mean, he's the 5th man of the year, a superstar on a team that is just so freaking consistent. That's Tobias Harris. And then Ben Simmons locking it up defensively. We'll see how Seth Curry and Danny Green play. We know Danny Green kind of always gets it done in the playoffs. It's never pretty, but he's always, I think he's got a lot of champions. I think he's got like 3 championship rings, folks. So he does always kind of just get it done in the playoffs. And I got the 76ers winning in 6. Then we get the Bucks and the Nets, and I'm going to take the Bucks here. It probably goes 7, but I'm going to take the Bucks. We just kind of got a little early glimpse of this, like we said a couple of weeks ago when the Bucks went back-to-back against the Nets and won both meetings. The Nets do not have any resemblance of the beef that the Bucks have. They've got the nice outside shooters. Don't get us wrong. Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, James Harden. Yes, sir. Joe Harris, Bruce Brown. Absolutely fantastic. But that did not get it done in their first meeting, their last 2 meetings here. And I know James Harden didn't play, but once again, he's not going to be able to kind of, handle the beef down low. That's not going to be his game. So I'm going to go the Bucks here. They get it done. We can rely on this Bucks team. They've got the beef. I mean, Pat Connaughton's even big. Brook Lopez, he can hit the 3 and extend the floor. I mean, Blake Griffin on that man is going to be a nightmare. DeAndre Jordan on Brook Lopez is going to be a nightmare. You better hope Nicholas Claxton here for this Nets team is ready to go and play with the big kids because this is his time to step up now. So yes, the Nets have the great outside shooting, but I'm going to go the Nets, and if it's going to go the distance in a 7-game series, I'm going to take the beef down low of Giannis repeatedly going down and getting it done. So I got the Bucks there in 7. And then in the Eastern Conference Finals, the 76ers and the Bucks. Ooh, this is going to be an absolutely great one. Giannis versus mother-loving Joel Embiid. They match up really all across the board. They've got both these teams have really good starting lineups, but I am going to give the edge to the 76ers here. I think this one goes 7 as well. 76ers having that home court advantage throughout the entire playoffs is definitely going to help them out a little bit. And then the scoreability that the 76ers team has, I do think they are a little bit better, slightly. It's real small, but I do think I trust the 76ers a little bit better than this Bucks team. Now, they're going to have great defense all over the floor. I mean, you got Giannis, Brook Lopez, PJ Tucker coming off the bench. The 76ers, you got Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid. You've got Danny Green. You've got Dwight Howard coming off the bench. So both these teams really are going to stack up absolutely great. It's going to go the distance, in my opinion, and I would be fine with either of these teams winning. Honestly, I would have no problem with it. Actually, I'm gonna switch to the Bucks. Honestly, I am gonna switch to the Bucks here. Let me bring up this 76ers schedule or their depth chart. I got that up. I keep remembering this Bucks team has PJ Tucker, and man, oh man, we know he's a great defender. And whenever they bring him in, kind of, with the second team or him filling in for a starter here and there, I don't know if the 76ers are gonna really be able to kind of keep up with that. And Giannis down low over Joel Embiid, that's going to be, oh my God, that's going to be so good to watch. But Pat Connaughton and Brian Forbes and Bobby Portis and PJ Tucker off the bench. I mean, this team just has those good defensive players that can really all step up. You just have to rely on Drew Holiday. Can we rely on their scoreability? Dante DiVincenzo, I'm not the biggest fan of him, but Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez hitting the threes, Giannis hitting the threes, Chris Middleton, he's going to have to be on this entire playoff series. I think I'm going to give it to the Bucks here in 7. I give it to the Bucks. One more final thought. 76ers, Bucks. Damn, this series is going to be great, but I think Giannis, man, I think this is going to be his year to get it done. So we get the Jazz and the Bucks in the finals now. Jazz the 1 seed, the Bucks the 3 seed. Jazz with the home court advantage throughout. Man, oh man, this Jazz team, Rudy Gobert, is he going to be able to deal with Giannis down low? Is that going to be able to happen? The deepness of this Jazz team, Joe Ingles, Jordan Clarkson, Derek Favors, Georges Niang, but are they going to be able to keep up with the defensive depth that this Bucks team has? So Donovan Mitchell versus, let's just take it like this, Donovan Mitchell versus Drew Holiday. I'm going Donovan Mitchell. So that's a point there for this Jazz team. Oh, well, they got, in this starting lineup, they've got Mike Conley as a starting point guard. So Mike Conley over Drew Holiday. I still think I'd take Mike Conley. Donovan Mitchell over Dante DiVincenzo. Is that even a question? I'm taking Donovan Mitchell. Bogdanovich versus Chris Middleton. I'm taking the Bogdan, folks, truly. Alrighty, and then what else do we get here? Royce O'Neal over Giannis. Come on. Giannis, Yanban. And then we've got Rudy Gobert over Brook Lopez. Rudy Gobert is going to have to guard the perimeter with the threes, and we know Brook Lopez can hit them. So we know that Rudy Gobert is not the best guarding big perimeter. That's not his strength. He can clog the paint down low. That's where he's best at. So that's definitely going to take care of the Giannis. But then the bench of this of the Jazz, I mean, they've got the scores, Jordan Clarkson, Joe Ingles, but the bench of this Bucks team, Brian Forbes, Pat Connaughton, PJ Tucker, Bobby Portis. I think this Bucks team just has a little bit more beef down low than this Jazz team does. The Jazz are going to be absolutely stacked with the shooters, but we just know it's just Jordan Clarkson putting up like 20 shots a game, being a little inefficient. I'm going to go the Bucks here in 6 over this Jazz, and the Bucks are NBA champions. Now, when we compare it to what we've done already, we got the Jazz coming out of the West, and the 76er or the Bucks coming out of the East as well. So overall, just these different seeding matchups for the 1-8 and the 2-7 through the Eastern and Western Conference really did not make a difference in the grand scheme of who we believe is going to win. So we've still got the Bucks here, and we're going to go the Bucks in 6, folks. I think this is Giannis' year. This quote here, I'm hoping that it was just Giannis being kind of, Giannis. He's never been that big media personality. He's never in the limelight, anything like that. So I'm hoping that this quote is just him doing that and hoping that he doesn't flounder here against this Heat team. But we've got the Bucks. I think it's going to be the Bucks year, folks. Giannis is going to go absolutely wild and get it done. Bucks in 6 for the NBA champions. Alrighty, that is going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. We're going to look for any breaking news as we were live. Anything good? Anything breaking? Does not seem so. Actually, we got time in the show. Let's go to the NFL schedule for weeks 11 and 12. Let's start picking some winners there. So here we go. Let's go to week 11 here in the NFL and start picking these winners. So first game up. Oh, man, this is going to be a good week. Here we go. Colts at Bills. Man, oh, man, this is going to be great. I'm going to go the Colts, baby. Colts on the road. The defense, Josh Allen, he's really good. I don't know if he's going to be able to take another step here, maybe a slight step back or just standing still, but we're going to go the Colts here. Carson Wentz on the road, but more importantly, this Colts defense gets it done. They beat the Bills. Steelers at the Chargers. I'm going to go the Steelers here on the road over this Chargers team. We think the Chargers are going to be good this year, but Najee Harris, I really think he's going to pop off instantly for the Steelers team, and the defense is going to be able to hold old Herbert with the new offensive coordinator this year. Steelers on the road get it done. Dolphins at Jets. That's easy. Come on, don't disrespect this Dolphins team. Robert Saleh, what are you nuts? Zach Wilson, more importantly, what are you nuts? Alrighty, Bengals at the Raiders. Bengals coming off of a bye. We're going to give them some love there. They got some extra time to prepare against this Raiders team, and we know this Raiders team flounders in the back half of the season. Texans coming off of a bye at the Titans. We'll give the Titans the win here. This Texans team, they've got 5 quarterbacks at camp. Expect Deshaun Watson not to be there come week 1. Then we get the Patriots at the Falcons. I'm going to go the Falcons here. I do not think this Patriots team is going to be able, this Patriots defense is going to be able to keep up with this Falcons defense. And if the Patriots, for some reason, can lock it up, this Patriots offense is not going to be as good as this Falcons offense. So Falcons get it done at home. Ravens at the Bears, and the Bears are coming off of a bye, so we'll have them get the win here. Matt Nagy with some extra time to prepare for Lamar Jackson. Maybe they scheme it right. We'll have the Bears get the win there. Lions at the Browns, easy there. Dan Campbell's going 0-17, folks. I mean, they better hope that they face the Jets or the Raiders or the Texans or the Bengals at some point. But even then, I think I still take all those teams over this Lions team. Cowboys at the Chiefs, that's easy peasy. I mean, Dan Quinn against Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill. Good luck. 49ers at the Jags. We're going to take the 49ers here. Urban Meyer, Tim Tebow on this Jags team. Trash. Saints at the Eagles. We're going to take the Eagles here. Nick Sirianni at home. The Saints team still going to be a little bit of a question mark with their quarterback. They're not going to be as good as they were with Drew Brees. All right, Washington at Carolina. We're going to take Washington here. The defense gets to Sam Darnold. Cardinals at the Seahawks. We're going to take the Seahawks at home there. Division rivalry. So we take the home game there. Packers at the Vikings. We'll take the Packers here. We do think, I'm not the biggest Kirk Cousins fan, and he definitely kind of flounders, in the big games. This is a big game against the Packers. We got them with the win. And then the last game of Week 11, Giants at the Bucks. Giants coming off of a bye, though. I'm going to have the Bucks get the win there. The defense of the Bucks should still be really good this year, and the Giants' offense should be good. Coming off of a bye, it's going to be competitive, and we're hoping that the Giants can maybe pull it off, but at the end of the day, it's Tom Brady and this defense. We'll have them with the win. Alrighty, now let's go to Week 12 now. Here we go. First game up, Steelers at the Bengals, and we're going to go the Steelers again. I don't know how Joe Burrow's really going to come out this season, coming off the injury. Probably, will be solid, but once again, the Steelers' defense is going to be absolutely fantastic again. Chargers at the Broncos, and the Broncos are coming off of a bye. We're going to take the Broncos there at home. Teddy Bridgewater's definitely should be starting by Week 12 at least. We think he's going to be the Week 1 starter, but this Broncos defense over Justin Herbert, we'll have the Broncos. Titans at the Patriots. We're going to take the Titans here, getting the win here, getting kind of, acclimated and winning towards the back half of the season. This Patriots team with Cam Newton, it did not do good at all last season. We know they kind of upgraded their weapons a little bit. Nothing great, tier 2 weapons. But this Patriots team, Cam Newton, if he does have success in the beginning of the season, it probably gets sniffed out by week 12. So we'll have the Titans beat the Patriots. Browns at the Ravens. We'll have the Ravens win there. Lamar Jackson at home. Jets at the Texans. We got to go with the Jets there. They've got the better coach. They've got a quarterback, where this Texans team is still a big old question mark in the quarterback department. Raiders at the Cowboys. We'll have the Cowboys with the win here. I can't really trust this Raiders team and John Gruden. I mean, these last 2-3 years have been nothing great, so I can't really get behind it being good this year. Cowboys at home, they get the win. Bills at the Saints. The Bills defense is going to be able to step it up here. We're going to have the Bills winning. Bucks at the Colts, and we're going to go the Colts here at home for this Bucks team. Carson Wentz is able to go toe-to-toe with Brady, and the running game puts this Colts team over the edge. We'll have the Colts win. Panthers at the Dolphins. We'll go the Dolphins here. I mean, the Dolphins are familiar with Sam Darnold. We'll have no problem there. Falcons at the Jags. We'll have the Falcons with the win there. This Jags team, I don't think is going to be that great, especially, now that Urban Meyer has finally gone and officially signed Tim Tebow. So, we know all the players are going to be knocking Urban Meyer, and the locker room is going to start to get a little toxic. Bears and the Lions now. Bears at Lions. Bears win it. I mean, come on, folks. The defense is going to absolutely obliterate whatever the Lions try to do offensively. Vikings at the 49ers. We'll have the 49ers winning there. The defense takes care of Kirk Cousins. Eagles at the Giants. Nice division rivalry. We'll have the Giants winning at home. Rams coming off of a bye against the Packers. Rams defense with extra time to prepare. You better believe we're going to take them with the win. And then the last game of Week 12 here. Seahawks at the Washington football team. And I think this is going to be a little bit of an upset here, but I'm going to call Washington with the win. The defense is going to get it done. That pressure, forcing Russell Wilson out of the pocket, making him run all game long. I mean, that's exactly what the Seahawks did last season. Russell Wilson running all over the field and didn't turn out well. They floundered all year, and we predict that Washington's going to really do that here in Week 12. So we'll have Washington with the win. Alrighty, so after 12 weeks, what has changed? Let's see. In the AFC North, the Steelers are still top of the division at 9-2. Browns are number 2 at 8-4, and the Ravens are third at 6-5. All right, the AFC South, Colts are number 1 at 12-0. Titans are number 2 at 5-7, and the Jags are 1-10. Nothing good there. Dolphins, at top of the AFC East at 9-3. Bills at 8-3. Patriots at 5-7. Jets at 2-9. Top of the AFC West, Chiefs 11-0, Broncos 8-3, Chargers 5-6, and the Raiders 2-9. Top of the NFC North, Packers at 7-5, Bears at 6-5, the Vikings at 3-7, and the Lions 0-11. NFC South, the Bucks at number 1 at 8-3, the Falcons at number 2 at 7-4, Saints at 3 at 2-9, and the Panthers at number 4 at 2-10. The NFC East, the Giants are at the top at 7-4. Then come the Washington football team at 6-5. Then the Cowboys at 4-6. Then the Eagles at 3-9. And the NFC West, the Rams at 9-2. The Seahawks at 7-4. The Cardinals at 7-4. And the 49ers at 6-5. So real tight division race there. Alrighty, so that's how it is after 12 weeks. Still got a couple more weeks left to go, and then the playoffs, and then the Super Bowl, folks. So we're almost done predicting the NFL champions way too early. All right, now that's going to do it for us today, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching, and we're back tomorrow, folks. First day of the playoffs. Can